Bang, bang, bang. Open up. The military had just overthrown our democratic government. My family was gathered at my grandparents' place. Uniformed soldiers with machine guns burst into the house. We're here for Pedro Hernandez. My grandfather got up and walked over. They grabbed him by the back of the arm and turned to leave. My father got up and rushed quickly to his side. "Who the hell are you?" they yelled. "Pedro Hernandez," he said. They looked confused. And then one said in a cold voice, "Take them both." What they didn't realize was that there was actually a third Pedro Hernandez in the house. I was just a child. I walked over to my father and I grabbed his hand and I said, "Papa, where are you going?" Our hands pulled apart as the soldiers pushed my father and my grandfather out the door. And for the first time, I realized that it was not safe to be Pedro. My father was detained for several weeks and brutally tortured before being released. My parents decided that it was no longer safe to stay in Chile. And within a year, we boarded a plane to freedom. It was a freezing day in January '75 when we arrived in Toronto, Canada, the true north, strong and free. We had no home, no food, no friends, no money, but this was freedom, baby. And then I started school. I was all pimped out in dress pants and little black dress shoes. The kids made fun of my name, my accent, my skin color. And at lunch, while everybody else was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I hid my empanadas. I would have given anything for a freaking peanut butter sandwich. And I can still remember the day that I changed my name. My mother showed up at school to drop off a snack. "Pedro!" "Oh no! Pedro!" I didn't look. "Pedrito!" The kids started to laugh. And then in a thick Spanish accent, she said, "Peter!" And I looked. Once again, it was not safe to be Pedro. And from that day on, Pedro no longer existed. I was Peter. And as Peter, I was determined to fit in. I became a disruptor and a class clown. And when my grades tanked, I managed to convince my parents that the E's on my report card stood for excellent. I continued to hide out in my new identity. In high school, I hid behind alcohol, drugs, and fighting. In university, it escalated to arrest and court appearances. I got really good at being a rebellious badass instead of being myself. And this carried over into my relationships with girls. On the inside, I was desperate to be loved. But with every heartbreak, I hid myself a little more to avoid rejection. At age 29, I left a bar in an emotional headspin after a couple drinks and yet another heartbreak. I was overcome with sadness and my car started to skid off the road. I hit the brakes and I screamed. And it swerved and rolled to a smoky stop. Soon enough, I was surrounded by police. "Bang, bang, bang! Open up!" I locked the doors and cranked the stereo to drown out the shouting and the sirens, to drown out the kids' laughter from school, to drown out the rejection and the life I'd been living. "Bang, bang, bang! Open the door!" I put my hands on the steering wheel and my head down, and I cried and I cried as a lifetime of sadness crashed through my body. And as I barricaded myself in the car, I realized for the first time that I'd been imprisoned my whole life, shackled by paralyzing chains that had taken my personal freedom, the freedom to be myself. All along, I believed that freedom meant escaping a dictatorship escaping Pedro, escaping rejection. But true freedom doesn't have anything to do with a location on a map, with social acceptance, or even being loved. Freedom is choosing to be yourself, no matter how dangerous it seems. Hola, me llamo Pedro Hernandez. You can call me Peter.